Hello and welcome to Spectrum Sphere, where we dive into the diverse world of discovery. If you're passionate about learning and exploring different facets of our amazing world, from the mysteries of science to the wonders of art and history, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more engaging content, and join our community of curious minds. We've got new discoveries to share every week, and we'd love for you to be part of the journey. Today, we're delving into a pivotal chapter of the 20th century, the Great Depression. It's a tale of hardship, resilience, and how a world fell into despair. Before the descent into economic darkness, the 1920s shone brightly with promise and prosperity. It was a decade marked by rapid industrial growth, soaring stock prices, and lavish spending, a time where jazz filled the air and the nation's wealth doubled, giving rise to what was termed the Roaring Twenties. However, the prosperity was not to last. On October 29, 1929, now infamously known as Black Tuesday, the stock market crumbled, heralding the beginning of the Great Depression. The catastrophic collapse saw millions of shares become worthless, wiping out investors' fortunes and shattering the exuberance of the 1920s. As the stock market crash sent shockwaves through the economy, a devastating banking crisis unfurled. People rushed to withdraw their savings, leading to widespread bank runs. Many banks, unable to recover their loans and facing liquidity shortages, crumbled one after another, eroding public trust and deepening the economic despair. The Great Depression wasn't confined to American borders. It was a global catastrophe. International trade plummeted up to 50% as protective tariffs stifled commerce between nations. Europe, still recovering from World War I, was hit hard, with countries like Germany experiencing their own financial collapses, magnifying the worldwide economic descent. As the economic crisis deepened, joblessness swept across America like a grim wave. By 1933, unemployment had reached a staggering 25%, leaving 1 in 4 workers without a job. Families grappled with loss of income, queuing in lengthy lines at soup kitchens while grappling with the strain of financial insecurity. Amidst the economic turmoil, the heartland of America faced another calamity known as the Dust Bowl. Severe drought and devastating dust storms ravaged the Great Plains, eroding farms and displacing thousands of destitute families. This ecological disaster exacerbated the distress of a nation already reeling from financial despair. As the economy shattered, farmers and rural communities bore the brunt of the crisis. Agricultural prices plummeted, leaving crops worth less than the cost of harvesting. Farms foreclosed en masse, uprooting families who had worked their land for generations, transforming once thriving communities into ghost towns suffocated by poverty. The despair gripping the nation became starkly visible in urban centers, where soup kitchens and bread lines stretched for blocks. These became haunting symbols of the era, as millions relied on such charity for survival. The once proud workforce stood in lines, a humbling testament to the widespread hunger and despair. Amid escalating turmoil, President Herbert Hoover's administration faced mounting pressure to act. However, Hoover's response was criticized for being both late and inadequate. Adhering to a philosophy of limited government intervention, he believed the economy would self-correct. The measures taken, such as the Smoot-Hawley tariff and tax increases, unfortunately deepened the economic downturn. As the Depression worsened, the landscape of American cities was marked by the emergence of shantytowns. Mockingly named Hoovervilles, these makeshift communities were filled with the homeless, built from scraps, and echoed the nation's anger at perceived government inaction. These sprawling settlements underscored the depth of the economic crisis. But America wasn't suffering alone. The Great Depression sent shockwaves across the globe, with Europe facing its own dire economic fallout. Countries like Germany and Britain, already weakened by war debts, grappled with massive unemployment and social unrest, illustrating the Depression's reach as a truly international catastrophe. As the Depression deepened, industrial output took a nosedive. Factories went from bustling hubs of productivity to silent shells almost overnight. Production levels, which had been the heartbeat of economic prosperity, plummeted by as much as 47%, underscoring the stark reality of an economy grinding to a halt. The average American family was hit hard by the Depression. Savings were wiped out and jobs disappeared, plunging households into financial uncertainty. Parents struggled to provide, while many children faced malnutrition and halted educations. Family dynamics shifted, stress soared, and the fight for daily survival became a grim reality for most. During the Great Depression, personal accounts paint a picture of grim determination. Families patched clothing rather than buying new, shared cramped living spaces, and bartered services for goods when money was scarce. Community ties strengthened as sharing resources, be it a loaf of bread or a job lead, became a means of survival. The Great Depression forced a shift in American culture, emphasizing frugality and innovation in the face of scarcity. Society turned more inward, focusing on community and family. Values shifted as thriftiness and self-reliance became prized attributes, forever changing the American character and altering the cultural fabric of the nation. Despite the surrounding despair, the arts flourished, becoming a vital outlet for expression and escapism. Literature explored the era's struggles, with works like Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. In music, jazz and folk told stories of hardship, while movies offered a welcome diversion, with Hollywood producing timeless classics that remain beloved today. In 1932, a pivotal presidential election stirred the nation with the promise of change. Franklin D. Roosevelt, offering a new deal to the American people, challenged incumbent Herbert Hoover. Amidst widespread suffering, Roosevelt's message of hope and recovery resonated deeply, leading to a landslide victory that would reshape the nation's future. As President Franklin D. Roosevelt took office, he introduced the New Deal policies, an ambitious series of government programs aimed at reviving the economy. His focus on banking reform, job creation, and social welfare was unprecedented. Roosevelt's legislation sought to provide immediate relief, promote recovery, and reform financial systems to prevent future crises. In the heart of the New Deal were work relief programs such as the Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC, which put hundreds of thousands of young men to work on environmental projects. The Works Progress Administration, WPA, and Public Works Administration, PWA, also created millions of jobs in public works projects, revitalizing both infrastructure and hope. Amid the sweeping reforms, the Social Security Act stands as a cornerstone. Enacted in 1935, it aimed to protect the elderly, the unemployed, and the disabled. This legislation introduced pensions for retirees, unemployment insurance, and support for vulnerable families, marking a pivotal turn in America's commitment to its citizens' financial security. As the Depression wore on, the plight of workers sparked a resurgence in labor activism. Labor unions gained strength and fought tirelessly for workers' rights, seeking improved conditions, fair wages, and the recognition of collective bargaining. This movement empowered workers and set the stage for significant social and legislative advancements. The Depression dramatically shifted gender roles. Women, often the family stabilizers, found themselves as breadwinners, securing employment in sectors less affected by economic downturns. Their resilience became a cornerstone of household survival, juggling domestic duties and any work they could find, their roles expanding beyond traditional expectations into necessity. Even amidst the economic hardships of the Great Depression, technological innovation did not come to a complete halt. Inventors and engineers continued to push boundaries, leading to advancements such as the development of the jet engine and early television technology, offering a glimmer of progress and hope during desperate times. As the Depression wore on, economist John Maynard Keynes introduced revolutionary ideas that would reshape fiscal policy. His advocacy for increased government expenditure to counteract economic downturns led to a rethinking of economic strategies, setting the stage for New Deal policies that aimed to stimulate demand and pull America out of despair. Gradually, signs of recovery began to emerge, marking the beginning of the end for the Great Depression. Industries started to pick up, unemployment rates slowly decreased, and consumer confidence tentatively returned. This uptick in economic activity was bolstered by the government's increased role in providing direct aid and job creation. As the 1930s drew to a close, the shadow of conflict loomed with World War II on the horizon. This brewing war effort abruptly stimulated demand for military supplies and labor, serving as an unintentional catalyst for economic revival. The surge in production ended the Great Depression and reshaped the global economy. As we look back, the Great Depression taught us profound lessons about economic resilience and the importance of governmental intervention in times of crisis. It underlined the need for financial regulation, social safety nets, and the critical role that fiscal policy plays in stabilizing and stimulating the economy during downturns. The Great Depression significantly shaped modern economic policy, with governments worldwide recognizing the necessity of proactive measures. It led to the establishment of regulatory frameworks, the concept of social safety nets, and fiscal strategies aimed at preventing such widespread economic collapse from reoccurring in future generations. As we reflect on this somber chapter of history, we're reminded of the strength and resilience demonstrated by those who endured the Great Depression. Their ability to persevere through extreme hardship is a testament to the human spirit and serves as an inspiring reminder of our capacity to overcome adversity. Thank you for taking this journey through history with Spectrum Sphere. We hope it has provided you with a deeper understanding of the Great Depression's impact. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and join us next time for more fascinating explorations. Until then, keep discovering.